And now it's time for our featured speaker of the afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome from Carolina Ascent, Jill Aguilera and Riley Parker to introduce an American soccer legend.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jill Aguilera.
I'm Riley Parker.
And on behalf of Carolina Ascent, thank you for joining us today as we welcome to invest and celebrate in women's sports. We're so proud to be the sponsor of Charlotte Touchdown Club and honored to be part of introducing a legend of the game. I first met Brandi about 15 years ago at a club tournament in the Bay Area. She signed a pair of my cleats. I still have them, but unfortunately I did have to wear them for the rest of that tournament, so maybe it rubbed off a little bit.
Yeah, we need to talk to you after so you can go over her signature. So we'll just meet you outside. We'll coordinate. It's our pleasure to introduce today's featured speaker. Unfortunately, I was sitting down there and I was watching the beginning, and everybody was just taking all of my lines, talking about all of your accolades. So I wanted to talk about what you are to me and all of us at Carolina Ascent, which is a trailblazer, a legend, and an icon of the game, and we couldn't be where we are without you. So I wanted to impart my piece, and I don't know why they ask me to always come up here and speak, because I've been known to go off script, and so I was really excited when they asked me to do this, and I was like, immediately, I'm a bit of an impressionist, and I was like, okay, perfect. I will do my impression of her game-winning PK. I bought some knee pads. No, I didn't. But I was gonna slide across the stage and rip my shirt off, and they immediately shot me down and said, you can't do that. It's inappropriate. It's a HR violation, whatever. So you were gonna get it for free, but if you want to see my impression later, just let me know. But if we could just give a warm Charlotte welcome for the Brandi Chastain.
They are America's sweethearts these past 3 weeks. Welcome back to the Gatorade Women's World Cup. Under 10 minutes to kickoff between the U.S. and China. This final is the culmination of 3 weeks of compelling soccer at its finest.
It's the biggest game of your life in your home country, in the biggest tournament that women's soccer has, the World Cup, at one of the most historic stadiums the United States has in the Rose Bowl.
This is the biggest game in the lives of these USA players. USA attacks, and in space it comes. Here's Mia, tackled away, outside of the box. Lilly strikes it hard, Scurry comes out. Somebody got a piece. They'll settle, this is dangerous. Overbeck comes back, China's in, and Scurry's there.
Recognize that it's not always going to go the way you want.
The winner of the 1999 Women's World Cup will be decided on penalty kicks.
It's been 120 degrees through 120 minutes of scoreless soccer, and now you're at the end. Penalty kicks actually seem kind of easy.
On the referee's whistle, Relive with a shot and a goal. China's up. The shot and the goal. One apiece. Here's her shot, and she scores. Fawcett against Galham. Goal! The shot, save Scurry! All eyes now on Kristine Lilly for the USA to take the lead. Lilly, the shot, goal! 3-2 USA. Chong. And she scores. What a calm shot that was. It's time. Mia Hamm with a chance to give her team the lead. The greatest goal scorer in the world is ready. Shot in the goal. China must score here, or the United States will win the World Cup. Sun Wen-chun, and she scores, even up again, but it also means that the USA could win the World Cup.
You know, as the fifth kicker, after Brianna Scurry had already made a great save on the third, it's the final kick of the game moment. You know, you dream about it. Obviously, you can imagine the spectacle of the stadium. I mean, the Rose Bowl is a humongous stadium, 90,000 plus people.
Chastain will take it. She missed a penalty kick against China in the Algarve Cup, and they lost that game. Go!
As soon as that kick left my foot, and it felt like forever, and I see it going into the goal, and honestly I feel like the ball's not turning, it's not spinning, it's just heading towards the goal, and then it hits the net, and literally it was chaos. It was insanity. Obviously the picture, not a thought went through my head. Did you think about it before? Absolutely not. I played in the back line. My job was to keep the ball out of our own net, not to score a World Cup winning goal. And so you're free to just enjoy it and experience it in this organic, really genuine way, and to get to do it with your best friends and the people that you admire greatly, just put everything over the top.
What a day this was, and it continues from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. The United States has won the Women's World Cup.
Was anybody else nervous that the ball was not going in? I don't know what it is. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, please go in the net. Thank you so very much for having me here today. This is such an honor and a pleasure. Number one, to represent women's soccer to the mass public is really a dream come true for me. When I was young, there was no Women's World Cup, there was no Olympic women's soccer, there was no NWSL, there was no professionalism in this country at all. And I was just a girl who fell in love with kicking this thing around. I honestly thought that I would be an American football player because that's what my dad watched. My great uncle, who was my godfather, played in the NFL in the leather helmets days, so I thought, why not me? But it was that kind of mentality that I had for sport and that love that brought me to women's soccer. So I am super grateful that I get to stand before you today and share a little bit of my story and my love and my hope for the future, while also thanking a lot of you for being here. Obviously, to the Carolina Touchdown Club, what you do over and over and over and over again really makes a difference in this community. To organizations like Dream 3 and Sereni and Elowen, who I met this morning, we celebrate you, and to every young person in this room, we see you. You are valuable, you matter, you are the why. To the Carolina Ascent, thank you for bringing women's soccer to this community and bringing it really proudly and boldly and with a competitive spirit and a champion's heart. That makes a huge difference for every young girl who gets to see you in action. Mr. D'Amico, thank you for supporting those dreams and those hopes. And you may have this ball. Don't you worry. I'm going to give it to you. But it's just my little comfort blanket right now. So, and to your staff and on the business side and on the soccer side, congratulations for doing good and for making yourselves an example and the standard for what professionalism can look like. I appreciate it. I understand that what today is about giving back. And one of the greatest lessons that I learned in sports, I learned at a very young age because I was a really terrible teammate and nobody really liked me. And so my grandfather, who I adored and I loved spending time with, gave me this very simple lesson, and it has stuck with me, and it's stuck with me in a way that has changed my life. He understood that I really loved scoring goals. And sometimes, and probably most of the time, to be a goal scorer means you have to be very single-minded. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be in the moment and in the spotlight and to step up and to say, I don't care about anything else. I'm going to focus on this and I'm going to focus on it getting into the back of the net. And at times it can be very singular. And he saw that I liked that a little bit too much, that I didn't really care about how my teammates felt, that I was really about give me the ball and I'll do the work and I'll get it done and I'll get all the credit. And that's what it was all about. And he saw that that was me going down the wrong path. So he said to me, Brandi, I'm going to give you $1 for every time you put this ball into the goal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make hundreds of dollars. Would have been great for millions of dollars, but hundreds at least. He goes, but I'm going to give you $1.50 for every time you make an assist. And I understood math at that time, and I realized that that would be better. and ultimately, it became better for my life because giving really does come back to you. And it really makes a huge impact. And as a co-founder of a nonprofit on the West Coast, we are the Bay Area Women's Sports Initiative. Our acronym, BAWSI, is pronounced BOSSY. We are Bossy Girls, and we help young 2nd through 5th graders in under-resourced communities use athletics and play and the playground for a place to have a voice and to feel like they belong and to go outside of themselves and outside of their comfort zone to make a difference. So the nonprofit work that is being done here in this room, the giving back that you do makes a huge difference, and I understand the impact. So please give yourselves a round of applause for all you do for making your community better. Okay, so I was just at a meeting the other day, and I live in Silicon Valley, where all the high tech and stuff happens. And I was in a meeting at an event with a company called NVIDIA. If you have heard of something called AI, they're involved with AI, right? They're the leaders in the AI sector. They support all the technical side of what happens with AI and how fast it's growing. And so the first question they asked me was, why was our team, the team that you just saw, so successful? And the first thing that came to my mind is because we cared. We cared about each other, we cared about the outcome, we cared about how we did it, and we cared about the why. And ultimately, the hardest thing then became, how does that show up in action? And so, one, you'll always have to remember, care. Care about the people you work with, care about the people that are around you, care about them as a person, and you will get the best out of them. And so how do we do that? And ultimately, I have very short time to tell you some very important, impactful stories, but I want to tell them as fast as I can, so I'm sorry that this is going to be really fast. Today, we heard the 5 Ps, I'm going to call it. We're going to hear about the Cs now, okay? Thank you, Shannon, for talking about presence. I think presence is really important, so thank you for sharing that. I can't see you. I don't know where you are. Are you still here? Did he leave? Yeah, okay. God be with you. So when we talk about with the national team, I had a really interesting as my brother says, you're so lucky. And I would say, I don't think that it was luck. I think it was hard work. And my pathway was really very unusual. I think when you hear 2 World Cups, when you hear 2 World Cup, Olympic gold medals, silver medal, you think, oh, that's like that. That's in a straight line. But honestly, it was quite convoluted. It was up, down, sideways, backwards, all the things. I was a college soccer player. I actually missed 2.5 years of college soccer because I had 2 ACL reconstructions back to back. And so I spent a lot of time on the sideline learning how to be the player and the person I wanted to be. And ultimately, after enduring that and coming back to the national team, I realized that every single player matters, no matter if you play 90 minutes, 120 minutes, 0 minutes, you come off the bench, that absolutely everybody's impact is needed and necessary to positive outcomes for teams. And what I ended up seeing over the years with the national team were these 7 things: challenge, commitment, competition, showing up every day, consistency, courage, which goes along with embracing change, communication, community, and the last one I'll save. So ultimately, we have to challenge ourselves. We have to show up every day. We have to set goals. Those goals are ever changing, those short-term, medium-term. The long-term ones are the ones that should be way out there. We can't touch them right now, but we can get close every day by making these small-term goals. For me, I was on the national team. I was a World Cup champion, and I was cut from the team. I didn't play on the national team for 5 years. But I always believed that I belonged there. And I was very grateful that I was around people who grounded me and supported me in a way that allowed me to grow and to learn, and not just as a young girl, but as an aspiring adult, which was challenging for me, obviously, as I've already told you. You know, I was a piece of work, not always in the best way. But I had good people around me, and they taught me how to set these goals and to follow through and to reach those milestones. And so we didn't have a home with the U.S. women's national team. And so once I was done with college, it was like we were just, honestly, it was like we were bags in the wind, like just floating in the wind. We didn't have a home base. And so, you know, to have a home means that you have a place where you can set yourself up. You can go there religiously. You show up in that place. There's expectations. And so that was really hard for me to not have that structure. And so I had to make something feel like home. And that was my cleat bag, right? I opened that every day. And that's where I put my goals. And I would see them every day. I would face them every day. And I would show up to attempt to make them positive every day. So you have to challenge yourself. The second thing is you have to compete. And I have a teammate by the name of Joy Fawcett. She played on the national team ever since we started in 1987. 1987, that's like a whole heck of a long time ago. And what I love about Joy is, number one, Joy was the first woman to have a child during her career with the national team. Now we have kids coming through the national team like regular basis, which is incredible. Joy showcased the fact that women could show up as themselves, but also as moms, and that they could also play sports, which for a long time we were told that we could not do that. So it was an incredible example. Yes, thank you. Exactly. Joy would thank you. She ended up having 3 daughters during her tenure with the national team, which is pretty incredible. But what I loved about Joy and why she fits into the compete category is that Joy played something in the high 200 times with the national team, 200 and something caps, like almost like unheard of. Joy started probably 95% of those games. But Joy showed up to practice like she'd never started. Like she was not in the starting lineup, like she wasn't in the player pool. She showed up every day to compete for a position. And seeing that every day was incredibly inspiring. So no matter where it is that you play or you work, or that you just be, compete every day. Show the people around you that you respect the space, that you respect the opportunity, and that you're going to help to make them better, because by competing, that's what you do. I always loved to stand next to the player who looked the most confident and then have that ooze over to me. And sometimes I got to be that player. So we really have a chance to really make a difference if we show up to compete every day. No job is too small for anyone. The next one is consistency, and this player's name you'll probably know. Her name is Kristine Lilly. She's played in 5 World Cups, 5 Olympic Games. She's ridiculous. She has played 354 times for the U.S. women's national team. Have you ever heard the name Cal Ripken? Blows him out of the water. Nobody on the planet has played more international soccer games than Kristine Lilly. 354 times. Not Messi, not Pelé, not Diego Maradona, not Christian Pulisic, Kristine Lilly. And what I love about Kristine is that she was the most consistent. Year after year, match after match, training after training, the most consistent person. And you got to see one part of the video with Kristine Lilly in it. And I love telling this story. Kristine Lilly is probably 5'2". She'll say 3. Not true. Not true. In a defensive corner kick situation, Kristine Lilly's job was to stand inside the near post. And the purpose of that was so that she could protect it, so that Brianna Scurry, our amazing goalkeeper who could jump tall buildings in a single bound, who can outleap anybody, she was like, literally the box belonged to her. She was like a panther. And she had these eyes that would just like go right through you, so don't mess around with her, even today. So Kristine Lilly's job was to stand inside the near post. This is the near post. The corner kick is coming from over there. China has a corner kick. This is in what we called back in the old days, golden goal. So if anybody scored in the overtime of the World Cup, the game would be over. Okay? So Kristine Lilly, she's standing next to the post. The ball is in the corner. The cross comes over, their player out jumps ours and heads the ball back across the goal. Now, what's phenomenal about this situation is that Kristine could have looked out onto the goal area and said, I see an open player, or there's danger. I think I'm going to go there. But she didn't. She stayed there. I played 192 times with Kristine Lilly. I've practiced hundreds of thousands of hours with Kristine Lilly. Never one time in all of our trainings and all of our games before this match had she ever had to do anything in that position. So it could have been really simple for Kristine to say, like, okay, this position does nothing. I'm going to go and do something else. But what I love about Kristine is that she understood the role and she understood the responsibility, and that you have to show up in those moments when maybe you feel like, it doesn't matter. Kristine showed up every time. And in this moment, in the 1999 Women's World Cup final, where the future of women's soccer was hanging in the balance, because that's all that the media was saying. I'm going to go back. Come with me. 4 years before that, 1995, the World Cup is in Sweden, in very small stadiums, 5,000, 7,000 seats, maybe 10,000 for the 15,000 for the final. I don't really know what it was. I call it the boutique World Cup. FIFA didn't really want women's soccer in its ethos, but they had to because it's the right thing to do, and we pushed them. So when the World Cup came to America, our World Cup committee and our leader, Marla Messing, said, we're going to do this in a big way. We're going to blow women's soccer up. We're going to play from north to south, east to west, and we are going to do it in the biggest stadiums we have, from New York to Pasadena and the Rose Bowl. And we did. And we did just that. But along with that came the future of women's soccer. And all the media was pushing out was, if the U.S. women's national team does not, that must be my fence line right there. If you see me like that, it's a shot. If the U.S. women's national team does not win the World Cup, the future of women's soccer, we don't have the Carolina Ascent. We don't have the likes of Mr. D'Amico supporting it. We don't have a lot of the young middle schoolers that I met earlier, Sarah, Mary, Dim, winning a championship just down the road at Brookstone. We don't have that. We do not have that. So there was a little bit of pressure. Winning the World Cup, not that easy, as you saw this summer, right? So many teams battling for that World Cup. But if you're consistent and you show up and you do the things that you're responsible for, good things can happen. And Kristine Lilly, inside here, where she would reach up and she would make herself taller. And as that ball was headed back across the goal, just out of the fingertip reach of Brianna Scurry, up jumps Kristine Lilly to head it out of the goal. It got cleared and the game went on. But I want you to know that showing up to do the little thing, the things that feel mundane or the things that don't get the highlight reel, those little things make the big difference. And it's that kind of consistency that we have to show up every day for. The next one is courage, and it takes courage to face change. And change is my jam. I love it. I think change is like one of the greatest gifts that life has to offer. It really makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It gets them, a little uneasy. But honestly, I think what we have to do is we embrace change with the heart of, I have skills, I have talent, I have boundaries. And we go for it. And I think soccer has gifted me this. As I told you, I missed 2.5 years of college soccer with 2 ACL reconstructions, and it was hard. I will admit that. But it was also uplifting and inspiring, and it allowed me to have perspective and recognize that what I got to do was really important. And when I talk about change, as I said, I was on the national team. I was a goal scorer. I made hundreds of dollars from my grandfather. And I love scoring goals. And that's how I saw myself. But sometimes change comes around and it turns you upside down. And it tells you that maybe you're not a goal scorer. And that we need you in other ways. And that's ultimately what happened to my career. I came back to the national team after 5 years away, and Coach Tony DiCicco, rest in peace, he put me as a defender. He wanted to change the way we were playing. He decided that defenders were not just destroyers, that they were actually going to be players who felt comfortable and confident on the ball. They could play out of the back, they could get into the midfield and into the attack, and they could be really big problems for the opponent. And when this happened to me, when he presented this to me, I didn't see it coming. I had come back to the national team just after the '95 World Cup, and I trained in two, I would say, pool trainings. And he said, we want you back on the team. And you can imagine, my heart was racing. It was like all the birthdays and all the holidays and all the good things rolled into one. And then he threw in but not as a forward, as a defender. And in that moment, I had to make a choice. Do you say yes to opportunity, or do you stand up and say, this is who I am? And I really wanted to be on this team. And I really wanted the opportunity to see what we could do, and so I said yes. And I will tell you that as a young girl under a mother who was as fierce as you can imagine and as incredible and could run a tailgate like nobody else, she showed me every day how to be fearless and how to be fierce at the same time. And so her saying to me was, Brandi, there's going to be a lot of people out there. They're going to tell you no. You're not tall enough. You're not fast enough. You're not strong enough. You're not pretty enough. You don't get the best grades. You don't, no. But your yes is out there. So go find your yes. And so this was a moment to find my yes. So I said yes to changing my position, to changing, how I thought I saw the game work and how I impacted it. And I had the courage to say yes. So when faced with an opportunity in your environment, whether that's at home, whether that's in your sports, whether that's in school or in your company or wherever it is you find yourself, find your yes. Say yes. Because your skills are transferable. What I ended up finding out is that when I play against someone, the attacker's coming at me. And I was like, I know what you're going to try and do. So all of a sudden, my skills as an attacker, I was using against the opponent. And that proved to be really important in my life, not just in my soccer. Because every now and again, you're going to find yourself needing to hang a picture, but all you have is a screwdriver. And a screwdriver can easily be turned around into a hammer. So just know that you have transferable skills, that you are capable, that change is coming. Believe that. If you take anything away from today, it's that change is coming your way, and better to be ready than not. So have the courage to say yes. Find your yes. Now the next two, really quick, go together, in my opinion. Communication and community, otherwise known as team. And without good communication, it's hard to have a good team. You have 11 individuals on a team doing their own thing, not talking, it doesn't work. Obviously, common language is important, understanding each other is important, understanding your role, as Kristine Lilly so beautifully did, really important. Communication is absolutely vital. Now, remember this story. No, remember the future of women's soccer when I tell you this story. We're in the quarterfinals. Now, if you win the quarterfinals, what happens? You go on to the semifinals. Yes, everybody's excited. You don't go on to the semifinals and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares what happened. Nobody remembers who was in that match because they're only looking for the team is moving forward. 6 minutes in to the quarterfinals, we're playing Germany. Germany went on to win the next 2 World Cups, so this is a damn good team. And they had a hiccup in their group game, which put them in second in their bracket, which put them against us in the quarterfinal. 6 minutes in, we're in Washington, D.C., where the Commanders now play. 75,000 screaming, crazy soccer fans. Hard to hear. The field is 75 by 120. You don't always get to have intimate conversations. Sometimes making eye contact is the best that you can do. We're in that transition. We're feeling each other out. You know what I'm talking about, right? Ascent, It's like, okay, what are they going to do? How are they going to start the game? What's their formation? Where are the players that we need to look out for? And in that kind of feeling each other out, the ball gets played between Carla Overbeck, who is the center back, and myself as the left back. And we are approximately, probably about 40 to 45-ish yards away from the goal. And as soon as the ball goes between us, I take my eye off the ball and I look to see where the nearest German attacker is and realize I'm going to get to the ball first, no problem. So I turn around, I make a move towards the ball, and this is where communication is really critical. In these moments, when all is on the line and the future of women's soccer, instead of having good communication, I just said, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and I did it. I put my head down, I passed the ball, and at the same time, Brianna Scurry was coming out and went past her and into the goal. All of the air got sucked out of the stadium. And you can imagine the things that were going through my head. I just lost the game, the future of women's soccer. Why did Coach Tony DeCicco put me in this position? My teammates will hate me. I can't believe I've done this. I'm terrible, and the list goes on. Only that's not what happened. Right after we raced back to try and get the ball before it hit the line, and we didn't get there, then I heard this clapping noise. And I can tell that clapping noise in a million people. I know it was Carla Overbeck. I looked up, she goes, don't worry about it. We're going to win this game, and you are going to help us do that. And honestly, in that moment, all the weight shed from my body, and I think I skipped to my position. What Carla did for me in that moment is she showed up as leaders show up in a great time of need, when a teammate needs to be uplifted. They say the right thing. I'm sure Carla did not wake up that morning and say to herself, I'm going to change somebody's life forever. But she did that to me and for me. And I just had a birthday last week, and she said, recently. I'm 29. For the 29th time. And she just wished me happy birthday, and I wrote back to her, I said, Carla, I want you to know that you changed my life. And I want it to be said loud and clear that I am so grateful for you showing up for me. Because when she did that, it freed me from the burden of the mistake that I made. Because ultimately, we all will make mistakes. There's not one player or one person who is perfect. All we can do every day is show up as our authentic selves. We can show up to support each other, show up to support moments, and that is the best we can be, and that's the best we need to be. So she did that for me. That's what leadership looks like. And Carla happened to be one of our captains, but that doesn't mean that leadership only belongs to people wearing the C on their jersey or the armband. You all in this room today are leaders because you showed up for someone else. And it's really important that we go out into the world every day and we communicate and we celebrate this idea of community and team. And so ultimately, the last C I have is celebration. And you saw it at the end. This is for all of you. This is for all of you, this gift that I'm going to give you. And I want to speak it really loud to every young woman and girl in this room. Because when I was growing up, much unlike how it is now, but we still feel it, nobody was encouraging me to participate in sport. No one was encouraging me to own a business. No one was encouraging me to do things that they were encouraging my brother to do. And so the gift is, watch it. The gift is for you to celebrate. When you do good things, they don't have to be the penalty kick that wins the World Cup. When you do good things, you pump your fist, you give a high five, you let out a yes! You celebrate. Because when you do that, others around you see it, and they're influenced by that, and they're inspired. Because if you can't celebrate the good things that you do, nobody else can. And when we don't celebrate, we miss an opportunity to change the environment in which we live. And so to all of you, celebrate. I know Riley already talked about HR getting in the way sometimes. But I would say, in your community, your team, your family, your work environment, whatever is allowed, like I can tell you right now, walking down the hall, I gave a few high fives today to some girls, and I love that. That connection that we made right there, no one's gonna take that away from us. And that, like, I can feel that energy. So celebrating is absolutely paramount to success. And it's not just if you do something, it's when you also recognize it. So call it out. Like, I love a great practice. I love practice. I'm sorry. I hope you all love practice. They love practice. They love it. They love it. And in practice, we should just let it go. Let's let it fly. Every time there is a goal, that's meaningful. Every time there's a great save or a tackle, that's meaningful. And we should celebrate that. Big or small. Remember I said, the little things make the big picture, the big picture. So don't miss an opportunity. And if you want to take off your shirt, go ahead. Go right ahead. Be yourself and celebrate. Because life is too short to not inspire other people. And for that, I want to say thank you very much for inspiring me and to giving back to communities. Thank you so very much. How much time? I know that was long. Thank you, sir. I know I went over my time, like I normally do. But I'm wondering if I can do a competition. I mean, who likes competition? Okay, great. So we're gonna do it. This side of the room, from the camera over, so you guys will be on this side. Middle table, you'll be on that side. Bar table in the middle, you'll be on this side. Does that make sense? That's easy? Okay. We're going to play for a prize. I love a good prize. Here's the competition. Rock, paper, scissors, okay? You're gonna get a partner. Everybody on this side will be playing rock, paper, scissors. When you win, you move on. When you don't win, you become the biggest cheerleader for the person who won. Ultimately, you're gonna get to one person on this side. You will be supporting one person from this side of the room, whether you know them or not. That's gonna happen. And this side will also get to one player, and then they will meet right here on this grand stage. Again, here's the rules. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Got it? Any questions? Celebrate each other. You're going to get to one person. Let's get it going. You guys going to go that way? You got to stand up. Let's go. Everybody up. Don't forget, you have to celebrate the person who wins, so let's go.
Don't be shy. This is not a day to be shy, everybody. Let's go. Come on, Ascent. Let's go. Get in there. Celebrate. You guys got to move. Once you've won, you got to move. Find the next person. Find the next person. Challenge the next person. Get down to the final shooter. Not enough cheering right now. There is not enough cheering. Let's go. Start cheering. That's it. Good cheering over here. Let's go. Celebrate each other. Come on, is that Mike? He's gonna win. Let's go, Mike. No? All right. Find a new person to battle. Keep finding someone to battle. Where are the winners over here? We need a winner. We got somebody who's gonna be a champion. Let's go. If you have a winner still playing over here, you should know that person's name and you should be chanting it. What's her name? What's her name? Jean? Jean. What about over here? Let's go. We need to be chanting someone's name. Let's do it. Yeah. Find someone else to battle. Who is it? Right there. She's gonna find. She's gonna battle. Yeah. Do we have one person over here? Are we on our last player? As soon as we get our last players, let's go. There we go. Say her name. You guys should be chanting her name. Let's go. All right. Do we have the final person? 2 left. Let's go. Chant their name. Let's go. Yeah, we have one. Let's go. We got one. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you. Come on, Jean. Come on. Okay. We have James on this side. Can you do better? Can you do better than that? We have Jean. Okay, James and Jean, we have a serious showdown here. Again, it's just rock, paper, scissors. One winner. You ready? Okay, here we go. One, two, three, and then go. I did it. No. Okay, yeah, right. Come on! Let's go! Thank you all so very much. We're not done yet, so if you want to find your seat, I'm sorry I did that not in the right order. Thank you for participating and indulging me in the competition side of this.
All right, that was a bunch of fun. I can't remember seeing one of those at this, but we have more prizes to give away. We have 3 autographed balls signed by Brandi Chastain, and it involves you having listened to her speech. So if you listen to her speech, you might have a chance to win an autographed ball that Brandi will throw to you. We have them here behind the podium. So the first one, and this again will be a nobody blurt out any answers. I'll call on the person who's going to win. Who was the team that the United States women's national team played in 1999 in the World Cup final? First name I put up was over there. Young lady in the back, go ahead. That's you, go ahead. All right, the second question. Who was Brandi's teammate who had the goal line clearance in the final against China? This first one right here, I put right here. You. That's it. And last but not least, who was Brandi's teammate who gave her the inspirational speech during the quarterfinal? Yes, over here. Carla Overbeck is the answer. Go ahead, yes. That's good. That's good enough. She got close enough. Let's give another hand for Brandi Chastain, everybody. Once again, another thank you to Carolina Ascent for the great sponsorship of today's event and incredible support. Thanks also to Radio 1 as well. Remember to come back here next month, August the 27th. It is the Carolina Panthers Luncheon. Great event, one of our best events of the year for the Charlotte Touchdown Club. Thank you so much for coming today, and we appreciate your support of the Charlotte Touchdown Club. Thank you very much.